Right, it's another new day. I don't know which day I'm on, day 6. Day 5, if that was the previous day, I slept 1 hour because I thought I was over the jet lag. Wasn't, so couldn't sleep. So yesterday I ended up sleeping for quite a while, like 8 hours again, which is really strange for me. But it's quite frustrating being here, so things don't move as quickly as you would normally expect them if you're just doing a normal mortgage. So it's really difficult to get somebody to agree to provide you with something that says you've got a mortgage, which is fine. I'm happy to go through the full application process, but I don't want to do that unless I'm 100% certain on the property. So this morning I've spent some time contacting different people, and I found it's really difficult. So in the US, even if you try and go to google.co.uk, it gives you different results. So once I'm here, I've actually been presented with some really good options, and I've gone through the history of one of these companies that specialize, I guess, in expat or more difficult mortgages, and they get really good reviews, and I could not find this in the US. So I've contacted them, they've come back to me with a couple of different options. But they've actually said if we can put 30% down, now I was hoping for 20 to 25%, they can get considerably better rates with 2 lenders. One of them we're probably going to have to discount because they only accept 3 mortgages maximum. Now, often some mortgage lenders will take more than 3, providing some of them are residential. This one is 3 maximum. Currently we have 3. We're in the process of selling the house, but unless it sells before we get this other mortgage, it's not valid. So it's a bit of a difficult one. However, they've said there's another one which offers a slightly higher rate, no arrangement fees, so actually it probably negates that, but we again need to put 30% down. So I've now got to redo the calculations of what's affordable and how much we really want to take out, and then work from there. So positives and negatives today. It's just a little bit frustrating. I like to just go, get stuff done, make decisions and move on, but it's not that easy doing this. Regardless of what happens, these are all lessons learned going into the future. One of the things that is actually completely unrelated, but I hadn't considered as a lesson learned for me, I'm currently staying with Selena's family, and they don't eat pork and they don't eat beef. Now, myself and Selena, I would say our predominant meats are pork and beef. So I'm being respectful, trying to, because I try and remember and not have that in the house. However, breakfast, I don't eat eggs. I tend to be able to eat scrambled eggs if I can eat a pork product with it, because it doesn't taste like eggs, because I know they're good for you, but I can't have that. That's fine, but I forget. So I've driven out twice now, gone to Sainsbury's to grab stuff, and as I'm picking it up, I'm like, oh no, I can't take this back into the house, I have to put it down. I'm like, okay, so what do I have then? Guess I could eat oats, but doesn't really interest me. So the other day I ended up buying the bacon and sausages and then driving up 50 miles or whatever it is to my parents' house to eat. It seems really trivial, but if you're so used to having it, I've never had to restrict my eating ever, it's not the first thing on your mind. Whereas I'm sure for a lot of people that have that, it's something they have to consider anyway. For me, it's not a consideration, so it's been a little bit more difficult than expected. And because we'd eat that probably 4 times a week, we're having a pork product in the morning, and then for lunch we often have steak and asparagus or steak and spinach, so that's all out. And then for dinner we probably eat either beef or pork 3-4 times a week, maybe more. We eat chicken a lot, but then you're having to think, well, if there's 7 days a week and 3 meals a day, it's probably only 30% of the time that you're eating a chicken product. So it's a lesson learned for me. Not that I do appreciate being able to stay here for free, and they're really nice and kind and making sure that I'm well looked after. And Selena's mum is always paranoid that Selena's going to moan at her, because she's like, oh, I feel really bad, so I'm doing this, but then she overdoes it with, she's always offering me things. So Selena's told her off again, if he doesn't want it, don't give it to him. But I'm sure she'll never get it. She's like, you want a beer? No. You want a beer? No. Well, I'm going to get a beer. I'm okay for the beer. So you want a beer? No, no beer. So I'll get you a beer? Okay, bring me the beer. And then they just don't have it. So it's quite funny. She's trying to be very, very nice. But the not eating pork and beef is probably something that in the future would put me off, because for me it's very important in my life. It's not like I can replace it easily with other stuff, because I don't eat, they eat a lot of prawns, shellfish. I don't eat shellfish other than crab. They eat a lot of eggs. I don't eat eggs, so it's not like I can just have what they have. So something I have to consider if I ever come back. Given a choice other than the properties, I'm not sure I'd come back here. Before, I think I liked it more than I do having left, so I haven't had this feeling of, oh, it's great, it's lovely to be back. I've had the feeling of, why have I done this? Do we really need to make money in this way? I'm here, so I've got to make the most of it, but that's the feeling I have most days getting up. And I can't remember if I said it on another video, but I experienced masses of traffic yesterday. Again, masses of traffic, just stuck, car crashes and people just doing stupid stuff. And we complain about the people in the US, but I don't know. I know that we have more congestion, but this is actual chaos. At least the crashes have no effect on me over in Las Vegas. So yeah, anyway, today I'm waiting for, the guy said he's going to email me through some options. Oh, their fee is $1,000, which is a halfway house. A lot of the fees for these expat ones, I've had a couple quote me a fixed fee of $500, but they haven't been that great. One of them hasn't even called me back. One of them only wants me to call him. He's not really prepared to phone me in the States, which isn't going to work going forward. And then I had somebody quote me 1.5% of the total purchase price. And I just went back and said, you're crazy. Why am I going to pay you? I'm sure there are people paying you. Why would I pay you 1.5% of the purchase price? It should be a fixed fee regardless of it. It's not like you're loaning me the money. So I sent them why I wouldn't use them and said that there are other companies offering it for a fair rate. I don't know whether they come back to me or not. If they do, I'll probably just ignore it, because that's a complete rip-off. Oh, plus there are other fees on top of the 1.5%. So yeah, anyway, gonna wait for them to come back to me today. And then Selena is really, I don't know if she's missing me or she's missing the interaction. Although she was away for most of her career over the past 5 years and I'm at home, the big difference, and she's right, is that I have my family and my friends here, so I can invite my friends over. I go up to my mum's. She's isolated there, so she's got no friends, so I think she's struggling a lot. So she keeps saying, oh, when are you coming back? I was like, it'll be soon, when are you coming back? And she keeps looking at flights to come over, but for a standard flight currently it's $1,900, and then for a business flight I think it's about $12,000. So I mean, that would wipe out any profits we hope to make over the next 2 years, so it's a pointless endeavor. If I can get something sorted or I'm kind of stuck, then I will probably shorten the trip by at least 4 days. I'm due to go mountain biking, I think it's the week before I leave, but I might try and pull that forward so then I don't have to spend so much time. Quick update for you. I'm gonna go now, have some fruit, have some lunch, and see if there's any other properties available. I've decided to have another look around Maidstone, and 3 flats in the block that we actually own in, behind me, I'm not sure if you can see it, came up, and it's all of the show flats. So I contacted them and said I'll come up and have a look. 2 of them went instantly, and the 1 bed is left, but there's a guy that's been in there twice going up to have a look. Now, it's ideal for us, other than the fact that it's considerably over budget. So the 1 bed is 199. The only, or not the only, one of the saving points is that even though it's really expensive in that sense, the 1 bed, and I've checked, 2 of them have rented out here for $950, so it's considerably higher than what you would expect on like properties in Maidstone. Generally a 1 bed rents out for about £800, but here, because people like them so much, they're renting out for $950, which makes the yield perfectly reasonable. I think Selena's still asleep, otherwise I'd message her and say to put an offer down to block it. And then I need to get hold of one of these financial advisors or banks to ensure that we can get the mortgage ASAP. But anyway, for now I'm gonna speak to Selena. I've taken some videos and I'm gonna send that to her. I will see what she thinks after discussion. Oh, and they give you all of the furniture that's left in there. I think I'd pull a lot of it out, but it's quite nicely decorated. So, although it's probably only, I don't know, 2 to 3 grand's worth of stuff, it's still free stuff. I can give that to my parents or my brother. Maybe they want it. Actually, before I finish up, I'm going to take you on a quick walk around the estate so you can see what it looks like. It's actually very nice here, and I took a video on my phone. Hopefully I can transfer it over and I'll try and stick that video in. If not, I'll put some photos that I've taken. Along the way there's a couple of developments. The development that we're on is all Weston Homes. So they've built the largest tower block in Kent, which is the one that we already own, and hopefully we'll get the last one in the block, and it is the actual last one before they convert the boardroom back to the final one, which will be in 2 years. And then they've built 2 other blocks. One of them is 4 blocks in one, I think, or 3 blocks in one, and the other one looks like it's 2 blocks in one. Further along you've got a red row construction, which I love red row homes, but they tend to be a little bit more expensive, and for us the yield is the most important. So if you can get 950 for a 1 bed here, and you're paying, I think it's about 200,000, the 1 beds over there are going to be 220, and you're only going to get the same amount of money, maybe a little bit less. The reason these tend to get more is they have a lot bigger wow factor. So they have digital taps, they have self-clearing mirrors, they have instant boil water with filters built in, they tend to have really nice balconies and terraces, and the ones higher up have really nice views. So the one we currently own is on the 16th floor, which is one below the top, although the one that we would be buying is on the 1st floor, so you're not going to get the best views, and it's overlooking the construction site, but still it's a great flat for somebody to live in.